Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Andzen Approach. My name is Jason, director at Andzen, and today I'm joined by Eric, VP of Partnerships from Rebuy, and Rich, Growth Agency Partnerships at Rebuy. And as usual, I've got Brendan, the founder of Andzen, with me as well.
Or sometimes known as the intern.
Yeah, we were just discussing.
Rich, Eric, great to have you here on the pod. Austin, Texas, another episode. We're in town for Rachel Jacobs' e-commerce agency summit. What a good time. We took the opportunity to set up a little podcast studio. Had the lads from Rebuy on. Let's get into it.
Yeah. For people listening at home, where this is a pretty heroic effort from us, it's 8 a.m. in the morning. We were out at a comedy show until 2 a.m. Literally just a few hours ago, it feels like. But let's start off nice and easy. Let's introduce Rebuy. What do you guys do for our merchants? Set the scene. How does the platform work? And what's your kind of area of specialization?
Yeah, so high level, we're a personalization app. So we help brands on Shopify personalize their web experience. Mm-hmm. We have a handful of tools to do that. If you think really simply, we've got an AI engine that's good at predicting what someone will buy. Mm-hmm. And then we have a bunch of widgets. We have custom templates and APIs that make it really easy to turn those product recommendations and other features on to help increase AOV and conversion rate.
In other words, we print money for merchants.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, in our experience, that is exactly what you guys do. Yeah, we're very fortunate to have a few clients using Rebuy. And it's one of those things that's easy for us as a concept to talk to merchants about, because on the Klaviyo side, obviously, we're doing a lot of this personalization, right? We're doing a lot of this recommendation in terms of timing, the experience, and it is a real natural extension to make sure that the site experience is doing the same thing. And I think you guys have a really powerful tool for every time that user is coming back to the website, all the products that they're seeing, everything about that experience is personalized. But the thing that I really love with Rebuy is once that kind of cart drawer comes out, all of that cross-sell, the features in there, particularly like, being able to upsell to subscription really easy if that's kind of the product for it. Personally, I think it's like a UX thing. Like the user experience for Rebuy is just so clean.
Well, I think, when we even use the word personalization, I think, initially people were blown away when they were being addressed by their name on site, right? So like things like that, I think are kind of a baseline now. Yeah. But a baseline that customers expect. So it's not enough to just call people by their name anymore, you know? So when we think about brands that are selling globally, I think, Rebuy does a really great job at allowing you to be able to capture, things like nuance, for example. One of my favorite examples is, shopping for a sweater in England, you're probably looking for a jumper, for example. So being able to speak in the cadence and kind of like that, again, that nuance locally really makes a difference when you're shopping, because you feel like it's speaking to you versus selling at you, right? Yeah. So things like language, geolocation, all of those things that Rebuy can tap into, that's what I think of now when I think of personalization, not just like, hi, Rich, welcome back. You know?
And it's the same evolution for us on the email side, right? Like personalization was, hi, Eric, in the welcome to this month's newsletter. But it's what products am I looking at? What's left in your cart? What's your loyalty tier?
And part of what we're doing now is we extend across the stack as we do product recommendations and personalization within emails as well. Yeah. We're also taking Klaviyo's CDP approach, and you can use Klaviyo segments on site to personalize the experience. So. Really extending the amount of information that we take in, and then what we can do with that information to personalize the experience.
Yeah. And I think that's why we're so interested in it. I think that's why we're pushing it more. That we're a customer journey agency. We care about that personalized customer journey. Now, traditionally, we've always operated on the, email and SMS medium. Doing retention marketing, bringing back to the site, but the site experience, the personalized site experience, that is the full customer journey. And we need to make sure that the effort and energy and strategy we're putting into on email and SMS to bring back to site is in somewhat replicated back on the site itself. We don't want the customer to have a disjointed experience.
Well, and you know, what's cool is like at this point now, I mean, if you're not a brand that's meeting your customer where they're at, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. And I think to your point, you know, we need to create consistency in that brand identity across every single channel. So when we talk about things like omni-channel, which I feel like was the buzzword, you know, a few years ago, now it's unified commerce.
Sure.
You know, even in store for brands that have brick and mortar locations, like you need to take control of that brand identity and deliver it wherever your customers are shopping. So, you know, having things like cross-sells and upsells baked into an email marketing campaign, matching the same language that you're using on Instagram or on, you know, TikTok. It's this whole approach that I think now brands are realizing the importance of capturing so that your brand is consistent across all those channels. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, when we think about Rebuy as well, they're focused on, wow, you guys do a lot on site. We do, but we can take it a step further and start building that into your retention marketing and all of that. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful tool. I mean, when I joined Rebuy, I mean, I had become familiar of it because I was at Shopify prior to that. So I knew of Rebuy, but I didn't realize the full kind of potential of what it could do. So it's really cool having had worked with merchants directly. They would come back with some of these strategies and how they were leveraging the platform that I wasn't even privy to. So it's really cool to learn through the lens of the merchants that we're building for. But yeah, that brand identity, being able to capture that has just been such a huge win for so many brands that, again, are trying to sell across multiple platforms, but don't want to dilute themselves and have to compromise one or the other.
So one thing to add there, just from a real practical standpoint, so we've got data sources, which is the back end of Rebuy, and this is what helps create that experience across channels, whether it's email, whether it's on-site, whether it's post-purchase. And so brands are able to, in a very easy UI, go in and determine how the AI is bringing that personalization, whether it's products, whether it's language, whether it's content. And then that cuts across all of the different channels and essentially interfaces where the user or the buyer is interacting with the brand.
Transparency is, and that's like really important to a lot of merchants, right? Like knowing that they have a little bit of ability to direct where the platform is going in terms of optimization. And I think for us, that integration piece with marketing analytics there, so that you can introduce your RFM segments into how the personalization works, right? And actually be a little bit more strategic around, well, you know, champions, we should be encouraging them to increase their AOV. And we can maybe, I don't want to say push the envelope in a negative way, but you can provide a little bit more of an experience around the product catalog. And you can do that confidently, knowing that it's a brand advocate who's really wants to engage. Whereas maybe if you've got more at-risk customers, you may be looking to more efficiency, you know, get them to check out quickly, easily, remove any barriers from the shopping experience, and being able to facilitate that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
jump in, fellas.
There's so much that, you know, I get excited about when I think about this because, again, you know, when we think of what we're able to do with, again, personalization, that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, we create intelligent shopping experiences. So the personalization for your most loyal customers is one thing. But what Rebuy is able to do quite simply is make every single customer feel like your number one customer with the way that we are able to present products. I mean, the biggest thing for me, and this is also something we can speak to, is like when I shop online, I work for Rebuy and I get Rebuyed all the time through the features. But I'm pretty impulsive. If I see something, I want to be able to get that discovery to checkout to order complete as quickly with as little friction as possible. I don't want to have to think about the decision that I'm about to unnecessarily make. But we're able to do that where, you know, if we know where the traffic is coming from and we click on an ad, let's say, or we click on a link from an Instagram bio, it brings me right to that product that they're speaking about versus landing on a homepage. Then I have to find the product, you know, sift through everything. That's too much time for me. I'll lose interest very quickly. So not only are we able to personalize, but we're also able to optimize in the sense of like, let's get you to that discovery, to checkout, to post-purchase, to lifecycle marketing campaign and segment within a couple of clicks. So reducing that friction, I think, is also another part of being able to optimize that shopping experience. To be honest with you, I'm sure there's a time and a place to want to sift through every one of your 1,000 products. But in the moment, I want to get to and from discovery to checkout as quickly as possible. So it's cool to be able to just focus on those products that brought me there in the first place.
Yeah, and we of course want to personalize the journey and make sure it's the right journey, but also we don't want to compromise the conversion. Right? We don't want to make this too many steps. It actually needs to get the conversion. We can all record the attribution and ROI.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I think a big part of that optimization, what we see with our best customers, it's a very data-driven approach. So there will be, the best brands are in touch with their customer. They understand the different segments, but then they use A/B testing to understand what's working. And we have that tool baked into Rebuy. And so all of these strategies can be A/B tested, understand exactly how the conversion is impacted, and then implement and use the best approach, going forward.
Well, and with that data as well, I mean, it's really cool because, Shopify out of the box, I mean, we're all familiar with, ad or what's it called? Theme blocks where you just kind of add in, but you're bound to either a static collection or static products. So, and also with that, you're not getting a breakdown of every single carousel on site to know where your customers are adding those products in the first place, which products are being displayed, which ones are actually performing well. So it's really cool when from the back end, the customer never feels like they're interacting with an app. It's not like, oh, this is designed to sell me something. It becomes very intuitive for them. And then as the merchant, you now have more visibility in terms of, potential merchandising opportunities. If we find that 1,000 people are searching for the same search term, well, maybe we prioritize that product on the homepage with a CTA so that, again, that impulse we can check out really quick, right? But if we find that we're also displaying the same product to 1,000 customers and only one person is adding it to cart, maybe we don't show that product at all, right? So there's ways in which now you can leverage that data that your customers are providing to you firsthand just with how they're interacting that show you where are the most lucrative opportunities for you to upsell based off of the performance of a widget on the homepage versus in the cart versus on a product page. So I think, when we think about these tools historically that were designed to create either FOMO. It's like Karen from Tacoma or Washington or I don't even know. Just added to her cart. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Really, who cares? Or the spin to win. It's like those experiences people can feel. And I don't think that we want anybody to feel anything other than just like, wow, this was so easy to spend money here, right? So yeah, I think that the data approach is so valuable in terms of understanding your customer, their behavior on site, and then being able to iterate on that with that data.
Yeah, when you talk about personalization before being like beyond the first name, I think like that's the standard that people are expecting today, right? Like they should be able to go onto a website, basically do all their shopping, check out, leave, without actually having to think about the fact that, oh, that was a highly personalized experience. It should just be that way. Right? Yes. And the proof will be in the pudding. The cart value will be there. The lifetime value will be there. If you provide that experience, no one's going to come up to you and be like, hey, that was really personalized. Thank you so much. But they'll spend $300 instead of $50.
The dollars will show.
Yeah, exactly. And it will be one of those experiences where they come back without necessarily even having to think about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing. It's like, it's so easy to just layer everything on top to try and get people to convert. But at that point, it feels a little bit cheap,
Yeah.
So when optimizing Rebuy with merchants specifically, I mean, one of the first places that I tend to lean into when I'm shopping is the cart, especially on mobile. That's typically where you'll find where a free shipping threshold exists. If there's a gift with purchase, it kind of starts the beginning of that journey. So I think the beautiful part about data sources is that we can tap into something like, is their cart at 0? Well, then let's show them your top sellers in the cart in case they slide out with nothing. It doesn't make sense to have copy that says you may also like when there's nothing in the cart. That's where you start to lose people. But if it's like your journey starts here and you guide them and everything that they do can happen within the cart itself, that's pretty powerful. It's a little bit scary how powerful it is. But again, it's these things where when that copy starts changing, once they add products in, they'll listen, they'll pay attention because it's not just this static messaging for every single customer. It's all of a sudden like, oh, well, if you added this goes great with that. All of a sudden, it's the closest thing to having like a sales advisor in store that you can get online, right? Shopping on your own.
And of course, savvy merchants, savvy brands are already using Rebuy. They're already using these tactics. But I mean, in a changing climate now, where potentially prices are going to have to go up a little bit, there's an opportunity here for merchants to drive more revenue from their existing database, how to upsell, cross-sell. Merchants are going to have to put some effort in now to growing their existing revenue from their existing database and using sophisticated tools to maximize that.
Yeah. I think, like we were saying, that if you're providing that clean experience, then you're the store that people will go to spend their money, right, rather than competitors.
Well, and with rising costs of everything at this point, the reality is people are not going to stop spending money.
No.
They're just going to be more intentional about where they're spending it and who they're spending it with. So the more value you can add and, again, provide an experience that's worth coming back to, people will save their dollars to spend it with you. They might not buy as often, but the same amount of money is still being circulated, right? Just people are being a little bit smarter with who they're spending it with. So again, I think these types of experiences online really help make that decision easy for a consumer.
Nice one. Well, I like to do a little segue here. Thinking about things that make it easy for the consumer. How about a word from our sponsor?
Yes.
Klaviyo powers smarter digital relationships, making it easy for businesses to capture, store, analyze, and predictively use their own data to drive measurable, high-value outcomes. Klaviyo's modern and intuitive SaaS platform enables business users of any skill level to harness their first-party data from more than 350 integrations to send the right message at the right time across email, SMS, and push notifications. Innovative businesses like Frank Green, Koala, Budgie Smuggler, Who Gives a Crap, and more than 146,000 other paying users leverage Klaviyo to acquire, engage, and retain customers and grow on their own terms. Andzen is a Global Master Elite Klaviyo agency partner and can help you with Klaviyo app integrations and setup to have you maximizing all of your data to generate more revenue whilst building stronger connections with your customers. To learn more about Klaviyo and Andzen, go to andzen.co/Klaviyo.
Okay, we're back. andzn.co/podcast, andzen.co/podcast. This is where you'll find this episode. You'll see all of our back catalog of episodes. You can like and subscribe. You can check us out on TikTok and Instagram. Fill your details in. We even have offers from our partners or from Andzen as well. So stay in touch. We are back. Rebuy. Let's chat maybe about some great customer examples, some case studies of using Rebuy.
Yeah, I mean, one in particular, and I feel like I kind of am biased. This is like one of my babies because I worked with this account directly. Okay. But, especially in the CPG space with something like Rebuy, when you're trying to push subscription and even buy more, save more, I think those are tools that really complement that effort. But, when we're talking about customers being very selective with where they're spending their money, I think that merchants are also extremely mindful of the integrations that they work with because it's not cheap, and the ecosystem itself is evolving so rapidly that I think it's very easy to, the carrot dangling in front of you, the shiny new thing. But Emi is the name of this company. They're like a healthy for you ramen noodle company.
Okay, cool.
Incredible product. Absolutely check it out. But one thing that I love about this is that working with Rebuy and a case study that we actually did with them, we were able to cut their tech stack cost by 40%.
Wow.
Which is huge. And, a lot of people ask, who are your competitors in this space? And I think that there are definitely product competitors with Rebuy, but I've not seen a platform competitor in terms of what we're able to do in an all-encompassing way. So, with them specifically, I think there's some just quick strategies that they were able to leverage immediately. Obviously switch to subscription, tapping into their existing Klaviyo segments. But things like post-purchase and checkout offers, like these are incremental revenue drivers that take 3 seconds to set up, and almost immediately you'll start generating revenue from that. And the nice thing about something like post-purchase is that, you're presenting these exclusive offers to people that have already bought into your brand. They've already converted. So being able to add even more value once they've already spent their money, it's like these one-click upsells. Again, if you're like me and you're impulsive, if you get to the point of a post-purchase, chances are if the offer is lucrative enough, and sometimes even if the copy is effective enough, I'll just add to order. And that's enough to drive tens, if not 20, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the brand, in additional revenue. So emieats.com, I think is their URL, but check them out. You'll be able to see with all of the suite of features that they're leveraging with Rebuy, they've captured the design elements, the fit of their brand. It's a beautiful website. The experience from beginning to end is just Emmy all over it. You will never even notice that they're using something like Rebuy.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's like the really cool thing is, again, the ability to customize and design Rebuy's elements to bake them right into your brand so that it's seamless. But yeah, anyways, Emmy Eats. Check it out.
And from an agency perspective, like, you know, we have strategists, we have copywriters to strategize and write persuasive copy to encourage those conversions, those post purchases. So to have more opportunities to utilize that copy and that design to get those additional sales, we're here for it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm keen to hear maybe, you know, for the merchants that are listening, if they were to add Rebuy to Shopify today, what are maybe the top one or two things that they could easily implement now? I think that example that you just gave as well is probably a great one, but a couple of things that maybe even in the app that are quite easy to turn on that you guys see drive revenue almost immediately.
Yeah.
I'll start with you. Where would you, like, what's your favorite? Like,
Yeah,
what
so
would you start with?
If you think about Shopify, a big part of Shopify's magic is the checkout. So quick, fast, seamless. So if you think about optimizing that checkout experience, there are three things that are really easy for a brand to do with Rebuy. One is create a cart that both increases AOV and cart size and converts quickly. So we have Smart Cart, turn that on, add product recommendations, add a tiered progress bar. It motivates the buyer to add products that are relevant to the experience. Then within checkout, add product recommendations. This is a plus feature, but it's surprising how many plus brands don't include product recommendations within the checkout.
Yeah.
We often see it increase conversion rate when we're measuring that. So very easy to turn on with checkout blocks. And then with the post-purchase offer, again, it's surprising how many brands don't have a post-purchase offer. There's a hold on the order for 15 minutes. If a buyer adds a product there, it adds it to that existing order.
Nice.
It hits the credit card again, but it is the same shipping package. So those three things are very reliable at increasing AOV, not decreasing conversion rate, and often increasing conversion rate.
Great.
Yeah, and with that, I mean, it's again, the way in which we're able to add another layer of that to what we're recommending in checkout. For example, if you've got a shipping threshold of $150, but this person is already on that payment information page, we can make sure that the products that we're suggesting are, let's say, the $24 mark to get them to that point. We're not suggesting a pair of jeans for $300 in the checkout. That will take you out of that flow. So being able to know based off of things like subtotal, the line item count, there's ways that we can mirror that with the products that we suggest. If they've already hit that free shipping threshold, well, we can prioritize maybe something that complements the collection they're shopping from, not just, you know, a dollar amount to get them across that line. So yeah, I would say I'm spot on with you. I think with the breadth of what Rebuy can do, I love to start with the revenue drivers first. Lowest lift, highest impact, which is always going to be cart, checkout, post-purchase. Once those get up and running, I'm sure you've experienced this as well, the brands are like, what else can this tool do?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the appetite is like, okay, now let's take it to the next level.
And that for sure democratizes those features that were typically only available to like highly custom checkouts from you know, your dev agency. Now anyone can get access to those features and then the whole suite of Rebuy, right?
Yeah, and we've got documentation that walks you through step by step how to do that, makes it very easy.
Nice.
And then we have a bunch of agency partners that can take it to the next level.
Of course.
If a brand wants to do that. But I think get in, use it, see the revenue growth, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah, nice. I think I'm keen to hear a little bit about what's coming up on the roadmap too. I think you make a really good point, I think, about Rebuy really is a platform, right? It's not just those single featured products that you find in the market. But with that in mind, what's coming next?
Yeah, so we're focused on the personalization space. We're not looking to be in every category, but then we're looking to be the deepest and the broadest when it comes to what we do within personalization. So you can see we've added a lot of features over the last few years. John and James, the two co-founders, are both technical. They're great at pumping out product, which makes it a lot of fun to work at Rebuy. So we've added search that continues to get better. part of what we've been talking about is data sources and essentially how to orchestrate an experience. So we have smart flows that makes it really easy based on triggers to customize that on-site experience.
Nice.
So if a user does X, then Y happens. So it might take them to a certain page. It might load the smart card. It might do a lot of different things that a marketer or a dev and design or a dev professional would want to do.
Right.
So we've got that coming. We will be going multi-platform, so working across platforms outside of Shopify. We're really excited about that.
Yeah.
And then we have a few things up our sleeves that'll be really exciting to announce here over the next few months. That
The level of restraint it requires to not just spill the beans, you know.
Of course.
But we're also in beta right now with our bundle builder experience.
Okay,
so
great.
we currently offer dynamic bundles, which is very similar to what you have experienced on, let's say, Amazon as the broadest example, where, you know, customers who bought X also bought Y. And they kind of, again, guide that journey for you, which I love the idea of a dynamic bundle for, you know, a skincare brand, let's say, where you don't have the opportunity to explain the features and benefits of an entire system to a brand new customer. But this helps that discovery process while also guiding the purchase process in terms of, like, if you're looking at this, you're probably going to want X, Y, Z. The bundle builder, however, allows you to stay in control of the products that you're buying in bulk and packaging together. So I love this for like a supplement brand, for example. You know, you can kind of put the pieces together in terms of, you know, if you know what you're buying or if you don't know what you're buying, this allows you to kind of stay in control. So again, I find like these little things that all even box into, let's say, like gamifying the shopping experience. It really creates something that makes the customer feel in control while still guiding them, like almost holding their hand through it. So dynamic bundles is one thing, but bundle builder we're about to launch en masse to every merchant, and that's going to be really cool. Right. We've seen some people doing this already, like in our beta program, and it's just wild the amount of revenue. Again, it always goes back to the data for me. It's one thing to have a really cool feature, but like, what is this actually doing for your bottom line? And then again, the number of items per order, which then gives you the opportunity to re-engage a customer after and say, hey, how was that product? If you like that, buy this.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Now that you've added those bundles in, you've exposed those additional products, when it comes next to like a replenishment purchase or a post-purchase, you can then use the rest of the Rebuy suite to cross-sell, switch to a subscription. How did you like that product?
Yeah, I think, you know, one strategy with, you know, pushing for subscriptions, that's one thing. But again, let's just focus on getting them converted in the first place. So, you know, the push to subscribe, it isn't necessarily the journey that makes sense for every single customer, right? But I think the goal is to get as many products in their hand, get them, you know, incorporated into their daily routines, whatever that product looks like, and then it'll be a no-brainer. So again, get the products in their hands, hit them 30 days later with a, hey, how was that? You might be running low at this point. They'll reorder, you subscribe to, you know, subscribe and save at that point. So I think taking into consideration the entire life cycle of a customer versus like, how can we sell? How can we, you know, push that subscription right now? I think it's super relevant. So, you know, tools like Rebuy make it very easy to play that long game with your customers and, you know, get them wanting to repurchase from you.
And if anyone's listening and wants early access to Bundle Builder, let us know.
There we go. Exclusive.
That's it.
We'll put some details in the description.
Yeah.
You are Eric, Rich, you're both in partnerships. Let's chat about partnerships for a little while. For us, you know, the vast majority of our new business and opportunities come from our tech partners and, frankly, even our agency partners. What are you guys seeing on your end? Obviously, you're in partnerships. What is the ecosystem looking like? How do you view and see partnerships?
Yeah, so I think at a high level, being in e-commerce, partnerships is just a really special place. It's a very engaged community of agencies, tech partners, platform partners, and a lot of other types of partners. And I've just loved being in this ecosystem for the last like 3 or so years. And just very grateful for how everyone is very open and welcoming. And it drives a very big part of Rebuy's business. If you think about Rebuy, it's very integrated. So this personalization happens across the stack. It happens across services. It happens obviously within Rebuy's product. It happens across the platform. So it's a very core part of our business. And we continue to invest in it. John and James have seen the vision of partnerships early. They had built an agency that then led to Rebuy. And so they've seen the power of working in partnerships and continue to invest in the team and the way that we do it.
Great.
We have, we're an Australian agency. We built our reputation there. We've been in North America for quite a few years now, and extending and pushing and recruiting here. We're actually recruiting for a CSM role in North America.
Cool.
Anybody listening, please apply. But for us, events like this where we get to come into town, we actually get to meet real life in-person partner managers because we interact on Slack daily, weekly. We have a great long-term relationship, but it's always great to come into town, spend time in person.
Well, and to that point as well, I mean, so like I was mentioning, I was on the merchant facing side of things. So I've only been in the partnership space for about a year. And I think that there's a few ways that you could go about that, which is, hi, how are you? Let's work together. Da, da, da. It's very rapid, or you really get to know and understand who we're building for. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed is that as much as partnerships can be leveraged as a sales channel, more than anything, I think the value comes in collaborating across things. So again, when it comes to tech partners, for example, when we build out those integrations, getting to work alongside the people we're building for in a partnership respect, but also then building together for the merchants we build for, there's something really special about that because it really just makes our products collectively better together. And I think that story is what I'm realizing the value in more than anything is just like the privilege to get to work with just incredible people that are experts at what they do and being able to complement those stories respectively.
Yeah, we feel exactly the same. We have like two levels of partnership. One where it's a great tech platform. We think it's really good features. They're nice people. You should use them. But the second, more deeper type is when, okay, we can add this as a service line item. We can sell this into new prospects. We can bring this up with clients on retainer. We understand their existing tech stack. We understand their ambitions and their challenges. We can craft an opportunity alongside our tech partners like Rebuy and actually implement, build case studies, solve problems together, have success together, use that success to win more business. I mean, that is definitely our preference on partnerships. And I think one of the secrets, not so secret now, on like how we've grown our business, our agency, partnering with quality tech partners, but also quality people, right? Like it's one thing to hit the baseline of feature set. It's another thing to have a team in partnerships or in support or CSM on the tech side to work closely with agency, solve problems for merchants.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with partnerships, one of the hardest things is measuring success and understanding where value is truly being created for our joint customers and merchants and brands. And as we look at agency partnerships, it's the agencies who are logging in and actually using Rebuy where the most value is being created. And when we look at ROI for a merchant, that's where it typically sits. Yeah. And then, on the tech side, it's a use case that merchants are actually using. And so we look a lot at implementation and whether it's being turned on and then how it's being used. So it's the relationships matter a lot, but that's sort of the beginning. And then it's like, is the value actually being created? And are people logging in, using the tool and actually seeing it translate to ROI for our joint customers?
And another layer with that is, the way that we simplify the experience for brands that are interacting with Rebuy by making the admin super intuitive, all of that. I think the benefit in working with us as a partner is that we understand that what drives your business is not the same for this agency or that agency. Yeah. So we can learn the platform through that lens for you and deliver the platform to you to help with essentially your bottom line, but then again, add even more value to the customer, right? So if you're a performance marketing agency, well, we'll prioritize those products on our platform and then work backwards from there, right? If you're CRO, migration, there's tools that we can preference when it comes to onboarding and getting you to understand Rebuy that will check that box in terms of your bottom line, but then also make you look even more, like the go-to when it comes to not only can we do this, but we can do this, and this as well.
Yeah, and that's the key to a good relationship is Rebuy and agency working together in the background, solving the problem, presenting it on a united mutual front to the client, success all around.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for being on the pod. Great to see you here in Texas. Where can our listeners find out more about Rebuy and about you two fine gentlemen?
Yeah, so come to rebuyengine.com.
Great.
Yeah, there are a ton of resources there. You can learn about all the things Rebuy does. It's very practical, and there's step-by-step guides on how to use Rebuy. So please do that. Any other ideas, Rich?
Well, I would say, and for partners that are interested in leaning into exactly what we just covered here, reach out to us. So find us either on LinkedIn or catch an email. Reach out to the boys at Andzen. They can bridge an intro. But we also have partner certification tracks.
Right.
So there are 2 different tracks. One that will get you introduced to Rebuy, and then one that's a little bit more strategic when it comes to that more kind of robust implementation strategy, best practices, stuff like that. So check out the partner certification tracks, reach out to us, and we would love to continue the conversation.
I would love to connect.
Great. I will put links in the description and also on andzen.co/podcast, ANDZ, I guess, en.co/podcast. Thanks again, guys. See you on the next one.
Thank you.
Thanks.